The Praetorian Guard, the elite of Roman warriors, was known for its closeness to power, protecting the emperor himself and often influencing the course of the empire. But among these elite men were those whose origins traced back to the distant lands of Africa, warriors who, against all odds, rose to the highest rank in defending Roman power. They were not just guardians. They were key players in a power game that shaped Rome's destiny. Their stories, marked by unwavering loyalty and unquestionable courage, reveal how these Africans not only earned the emperor's trust, but also shaped critical moments in the empire's history. In this video, we will explore the journey of these exceptional men, uncovering how they became the protectors of the heart of Rome and influenced power in ways few could imagine. Get ready to discover a hidden and fascinating chapter of Roman history, where the strength and loyalty of African warriors helped keep the Roman Empire standing. In the vast expanse of the Roman Empire, its borders reached far-flung and culturally diverse lands. Within this immense territory, Africa represented both a source of resources and human talent. Among the various peoples who interacted with Rome, some Africans stood out not only for their strength and skill, but also for their leadership and loyalty. These men, from regions like Nubia and Mauritania, had warrior traditions that, when integrated into the Roman army, added new dimensions to the already impressive military strength of the time. When these Africans joined the Roman ranks, they faced a series of challenges, from adapting to a completely different culture to overcoming racial prejudice. However, many distinguished themselves through their combat skills and tireless dedication. Over time, some were chosen to become part of the Praetorian Guard, an elite group responsible for the personal protection of the emperor. This not only demonstrated their competence as warriors, but also the trust placed in them, despite their distant origins. These African warriors brought with them more than just physical prowess. They carried a rich cultural heritage that influenced their worldview and, by extension, how they performed their roles within the Praetorian Guard. In an environment where loyalty was tested at every turn, these men repeatedly proved their worth, not only as soldiers but also as advisors and strategists. The presence of Africans in the Praetorian Guard also reflects the complexity of the Roman Empire itself, which, while seeing itself as the center of the world, was profoundly influenced by the cultures and peoples it dominated. This interaction, often marked by tensions and rivalries, also created a dynamic where merit and skill could, in some cases, transcend racial and cultural barriers. Thus, the Africans who reached this prominent position within the Praetorian Guard represent not only the empire's diversity, but also the possibility of social and military ascension in a world where power was often determined by birth and origin. The journey of African warriors to Rome was anything but straightforward. In many cases, they were captured in wars, sold into slavery, or taken as tributes from their native lands to serve in the Roman army. However, not all arrived in Rome this way. Some enlisted voluntarily, attracted by the promise of wealth, glory, and the chance to escape the hardships of their homelands. These motivations, combined with physical strength and a combative spirit, made these men ideal candidates for the Roman legions. Along the way, these warriors faced harsh conditions and grueling journeys. Many were forced to march through deserts, cross dangerous seas, and endure the rigors of climates vastly different from their native lands. Yet, the promise of a better future and the opportunity to prove their worth in one of the most powerful military forces of the time kept these men focused and determined to reach the heart of the empire. Once in Rome, these warriors underwent rigorous training that tested not only their physical strength, but also their loyalty and discipline. This training was crucial, as the Praetorian Guard was not just any unit. It was the elite of the Roman army, with direct access to the emperor. Only the most dedicated and skilled managed to complete the training and earn a place in the guard. The integration of these African warriors into the Roman army also marked the beginning of a new phase in their lives. For many, it was an opportunity to leave behind a past of uncertainties and build a new identity within the empire. However, this new life came with its own challenges, including the need to adapt to a culturally distinct and often hostile environment. Despite the difficulties, the African warriors who managed to establish themselves in Rome became respected and feared figures. Their journey, marked by sacrifices and challenges, is a testament to the resilience and determination of these men who, coming from distant lands, became an integral part of the Roman military machine. The life of an African warrior in the Praetorian Guard began with grueling training designed to transform even the most skilled men into true war machines. Upon arriving in Rome, these warriors underwent an intense routine that included not only physical training but also instruction in Roman combat tactics, weapon handling, and rigorous military discipline. The goal was clear: to ensure that each member of the Guard could protect the emperor under any circumstances, regardless of the threat. The physical training involved forced marches, hand-to-hand combat drills, and exercises with heavy armor, all aimed at developing the endurance and strength necessary to face the toughest battles. Additionally, there was a special emphasis on discipline, a crucial trait for any Roman soldier, but even more so for the Praetorians, who needed to be ready to act with speed and precision, whether on the battlefield or in Rome's political intrigues. What truly distinguished these African warriors was their ability to adapt. They not only absorbed Roman combat techniques, but also incorporated their own traditions and tactics, creating a unique fighting style that made them even more formidable. This ability to blend different combat cultures quickly set some of these warriors apart, earning them the respect of their peers and superiors. As they proved themselves on the battlefield and in protecting the emperor, many of these men began to rise within the Roman military structure. For an African in the Praetorian Guard, rising through the ranks was not just a matter of martial skill, but also of unquestionable loyalty and strategic intelligence. Those who excelled were often promoted to command positions, where their experience and insight were used to make crucial decisions that affected not only the Guard but the very fate of the empire. This rise within the Praetorian Guard also came with an increase in social status. For many of these men, achieving a prominent position in the Guard meant not only security and power, but also the opportunity to directly influence the course of the Roman Empire. In this way, these African warriors not only became part of the military elite, but also acquired an important role in Roman politics and society. Loyalty was the most valued virtue among the members of the Praetorian Guard, and the African warriors who had risen so far within the Roman ranks knew that this loyalty would be constantly tested. Protecting the emperor was not just a matter of following orders. It often meant risking one's own life in moments of extreme danger, when the safety of Rome depended on the courage of a few. Throughout history, there are accounts of African Praetorians who demonstrated unwavering loyalty in critical situations. During times of conspiracies and assassination attempts, it was these warriors who stood between the emperor and his enemies, acting with a speed and determination that saved their leaders' lives on numerous occasions. These acts of bravery not only protected the emperor, but also solidified the role of these Africans as indispensable guardians of the Roman throne. But the loyalty demanded of the Praetorians was not limited to the battlefield. In many cases, these men had to navigate the treacherous waters of Roman politics, where alliances shifted rapidly and danger could come from any direction. Some Africans in the Guard faced deep moral dilemmas, such as choosing between loyalty to the emperor or their own conscience, especially when confronted with orders that contradicted their personal values. These moments of crisis revealed not only the courage of these warriors, but also their humanity. There were instances where loyalty to a tyrannical emperor placed these men in impossible positions, forcing them to make decisions that would forever mark their lives and careers. Still, most chose loyalty to their duty, even when it meant tremendous personal sacrifices. The legacy of these stories of loyalty and sacrifice is profound. They not only highlight the bravery of these warriors, but also illustrate the complexity of their position within the Praetorian Guard. In a world where power and betrayal went hand in hand, these Africans became symbols of a loyalty that transcended the empire's borders and echoed through the centuries as examples of unmatched service and dedication. The Africans in the Praetorian Guard were not just warriors. Many became influential in Rome's political game, shaping the destiny of the empire in subtle yet powerful ways. With direct access to the emperor, these men often played roles beyond physical protection, serving as advisors and, in some cases, discreet manipulators of the events that define the course of Roman history. The power these warriors wielded was not limited to their swords. In an era when Roman politics was rife with intrigue, conspiracies, and betrayals, proximity to the emperor gave the African Praetorians a privileged position to influence crucial decisions. Their opinions and advice could change the course of a war, define alliances, or even determine who should be the next to ascend to the imperial throne. There are records of African Praetorians who, thanks to their intelligence and cunning, managed to gain considerable power, becoming key figures during political transitions. In a period when imperial succession was often decided by strength rather than lineage, the support of the Praetorian Guard could make all the difference. These Africans, by securing the survival of their favored emperors or supporting the rise of new leaders, helped shape the history of Rome. But with great power came great risk. Many of these men found themselves at the center of dangerous conflicts, where their alliances could either secure their rise or seal their downfall. The history of Rome is rich with examples of how influential Praetorians became targets of intrigue, and for the Africans in the Guard, the pressure was even greater given the prejudice that still existed regarding their origins. Nevertheless, the influence of these African warriors left an indelible mark on Roman politics. They not only helped protect the empire during critical moments, but also shaped the events that defined the direction of the empire for centuries. Their actions proved that the power of Rome was not just a matter of birth or citizenship, but also of courage, loyalty, and strategic intelligence. The lives of Africans in the Praetorian Guard were far from free of conflicts, both external and internal. As members of the Roman military elite, these warriors constantly faced challenges that tested their loyalty, skill, and adaptability. In times of war, they were called to fight in some of the most fierce and decisive battles of the empire. Yet, the most difficult challenges often came from within, manifesting as rivalries, prejudices, and political intrigue. Externally, the African Praetorians confronted Rome's enemies with the same bravery and determination that had brought them to the heart of the empire. On battlefields ranging from the borders of Germania to the deserts of the East, these warriors repeatedly proved their worth, often taking on leadership roles during critical moments. Their presence in decisive battles not only helped secure victories, but also solidified their reputation as formidable combatants. Internally, however, the challenges were more complex. The rise of these Africans to the elite ranks of the Praetorian Guard often sparked jealousy and resentment among their Roman peers, who might view them as a threat to the status quo. Additionally, racial prejudice was a reality these men had to confront, even within the ranks of the Guard. They needed to not only prove themselves in combat, but also overcome the cultural and social barriers that still permeated Roman society. Internal conflicts within the Praetorian Guard also manifested in the political intrigues that pervaded the imperial palace. As figures close to the emperor, African Praetorians frequently found themselves involved in power plays that could be both an opportunity and a deadly trap. They had to navigate this treacherous environment with caution, knowing that a misstep could cost them not only their position but also their lives. These challenges, both internal and external, shaped the experience of Africans in the Praetorian Guard and defined the nature of their legacy. They faced and overcame adversities that few other warriors had to confront, repeatedly proving that they were more than capable of defending the heart of the Roman Empire, not just with their swords but also with their cunning and resilience.